Okay, I'm going to do this without looking. It is Thursday, September the 5th. Thursday, September. I kept wanting to say August. It's like August. No, it's not August. We're past August. Right, Minx? Past August. So, the next in line is Septiembre. So, and I only know it's the 5th because I have to pay rent today. So, like, today is the last day you can pay it without getting a late fee. I think it's like 50 bucks? 25? Maybe it's 25. I don't know. But it's extra money that I don't want to be putting out, especially for right before vacation. And that's kind of how I know it's Thursday, because I'm like, well, it's technically, I'm down to my last day of work for both jobs. So, more on that later. But yes, we finished the candy mod last night at my regular job, the retail job. And Jennifer was there. She was still having problems with her headaches, but she came in and she stuck it out and helped us get the candy mod done, and then she went home. So, but yeah, we got that finished. Yay. Candy mod is all done. We didn't have to run freight before we did the mod either. We got to just jump right into the mod, which was kind of nice. And then today at Parks and Rec, I ended up having to do laundry today. And I made my other calzone. It's in there waiting for me, but now it's going to cool off. But actually, just as I was getting back in the door from going and throwing my laundry in, I heard the air fryer go off. So it's ready, but it's got to cool off a little bit. But yes, I ended up having to do laundry today because we were out at Mar Park cutting up a tree that had fallen over and chucking it into the woods, and they may have trained me a bit on a chainsaw today. If that's the sort of thing that gets them in trouble, that didn't happen. Because I was going to use it. Peter kind of showed me how to use a chainsaw once, and we were going to go cut up a tree or whatever, and my boss, Gabe, because he was like, oh, you can use this one or the electric one, it doesn't matter or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't really know how to use either one of them, and he's like, you've never used a chainsaw before? I'm like, no, not really, and he's like, you're not using these. So he was adamant that I would not be using a chainsaw without being trained, but I mean, that's kind of what they were doing today, if they were doing it. You know, if, on the DL, they were training me on it, showing me how to use it and whatever, more so than anything. If that were to happen, that's the training was happening today, and I still have all my fingers and toes and, you know, whatever, so ended okay, I guess. But yeah, we were taking the branches and the pieces of the trunk and whatever and chucking them over into the woods. So I got dirty because of that. I didn't really check myself for ticks, but I don't usually get them. Every once in a while I'll get one, and I'll find it later. Excuse me. So I got kind of sweaty and dirty, and you know, so it's like I had to do laundry today. But there again, I'm gonna want shirts, you know, when I get back from vacation. I'm not gonna want to come back from vacation and fucking do laundry. So, you know, I guess it's better that I do them now, and I can wash my house shoes that someone threw up on. A minx who shall not be named, of course. I mean, I technically have two sets. I call them my grandpa shoes, but and the other one's not thrown up on. But I don't think they're as cushiony. Maybe they're the older pair. I think the other pair had a little bit more cushion in it. Whatever, cushion for the pushing or whatever. So could have washed either pair, I guess, because the other one's they're just kind of dusty, I guess, from sitting around, you know. but they could use a they could use a wash. So I figure, you know, I don't know if these don't if they don't get dry or they shrink or whatever. I don't know. I've never washed house shoes before, but I looked it up. I did a quick Goog, and it said it should be fine. You know, because they're not made of leather. They're not or suede or what was the other fabric? There was some kind of silk, some kind of fabric. I don't know. They're just regular old grandpa shoes, so it's like they should be fine to throw in there. You know. But that's what's going. And now it's later, and I can tell you, my worlds collided today. Because one of the things, Gabe at Parks and Rec, I was on the clock at Parks and Rec, and he wanted to go pick up water, so that he could put it in the fridge in the break room for us. And he was picking up coffee for somebody up at the pool was needing coffee, I guess, for their office or something. So he's like, "What kind do you want, or what kind do you guys need, or you use, whatever, blah blah blah." So we went out to the store. I was on the clock with Parks and Rec, and visited the store today with Gabe and Peter. So that was fun. That was interesting. And nobody. I don't think anybody recognized me. But there again, they're all busy. You know, I'm not in my, you know, my blues. You know, I'm not in my vest. I'm not, you know, on the clock or just getting off the clock or whatever. So I'm just another face in the crowd to them. You know. I was wearing my iconic Cookie Monster hat, but that's more. That's more the me that Parks and Rec knows. I don't wear my Cookie Monster hat to my retail job, so they don't know to look for me. And you know, it's iconic, of course, you know. So they just think I'm some kind of celebrity, and they're afraid to lock eyes with me because of, you know, the power that I hold, obviously. But so yeah, that was kind of interesting. He's like, "Yeah, we're going out to pick up some water and stuff." So it's like, all right. But that was the more on that later kind of thing. So and that was my day, and now I'm doing laundry. I'm waiting for it to launder, whatever. So today's question. How important is family to you? I mean, you know, pretty important. Pretty important. You know, I mean, I understand we're not all together all the time. You know, we're kind of spread to the... We used to have a pretty close-knit, you know, we all lived in the same little town and whatever, you know. But then it's like my sister, you know, kind of, you know, I think was maybe the first one to move. She didn't move far, you know. She just moved to some tiny little town here, around here. And then, of course, you know, I moved here to Warrensburg you know, I never even thought about it, to be honest, until Mom was thinking about moving after we had the fire at the house. Because she's like, are you going to come home and live with me after you graduate college, or are you going to stay there in Warrensburg? And I'm like, you know, I hadn't even thought about that. Because she was, you know, she was wanting to get a place with enough bedrooms if I was going to come live with her after, you know, then I ended up going for a master's degree anyway. I'm pretty sure that happened when I was an undergrad, I think. I don't really know, to be honest. I think. Yeah? Maybe? I don't know. You know, I moved down here. It's only like an hour away, though, from... I didn't move very far. I mean, my sister didn't either until she moved all the way out to, you know, the ass end of Oklahoma over there, you know? And it's like, you know, Mom and, you know, my Uncle Mike and Aunt Laura, they're still, you know, down there in Hardin, and, you know, Kaylee lives in Nebraska. She's off over there, and Holly lived somewhere else for a little while. Well, I guess she kind of lived in Oklahoma, around there where my sister lived, but then she moved back to Kansas City, so she lives up there. that's how I was able to get to my doctor's appointment in Overland Park, or that's how Mom was able to get up there and whatever, because she met Holly and Holly took her the rest of the way. So you know. So some people have ventured out further than others, but we're, I mean, up until, I don't even know how many years ago that would have been when my sister finally moved out to like Oklahoma. And they talk about moving back all the time. you know, hasn't happened so far. So who knows? Who knows if that'll happen ever? But and of course, Ralphie's growing up. I believe he's 15, 16. I think he went for his learner's permit. I think my sister shared that recently with the family group chat, whatever. So we have a family group chat. I wasn't originally in it, but Holly added me, and then she just asked today because they were showing off pictures of the girls. Holly asked if I was in the group chat, and somebody said something about, yeah, but he's at work right now or something like that. And I replied, I was like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm just a lurker. I don't really respond to anything. Because I was just using my phone. I was just using it because Peter had messaged me. And then I looked and I was like, how the hell did I miss 5 fucking messages? Well, it was the group chat. I do have it on silent because I do have the family group chat muted because I don't want it. It doesn't go off very often. But it's like, I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, unless I'm like on the clock, like, at Parks and Rec or whatever, or at, overnight, because Marilee texts me to let me know it's time to go to break. So, because, sometimes depending on what she's doing, if she's working dairy or whatever, sometimes they work a little past the time we're supposed to go. So she texts me when she's ready to go to lunch, and and break. So I don't want to miss going to lunch and break, So I leave the sound on my on my phone then. But other than that, so somebody, I never know. Somebody might have texted me by now, but it's just kind of no. Do Not Disturb though. Do Not Disturb turned on until 9 p.m. sleeping. So I finally figured that out to where like I would get my messages, they would pop up, I would see them, but they just wouldn't make any noise because it's like I'm just kind of sitting here chilling, just kind of chillaxing, like that kind of if all of a sudden my phone goes off and it's like interrupts my zen, whatever. So, but I am in the family group chat, even if I have it muted. Eventually I see the messages, because I look at it, it's like, oh shit, like kind of like today, it's like, how did I miss 5 messages? I had my phone in my hand, I was using it, I was talking to Peter, and I was like, oh, it was a family group chat. So, it's kind of one of those things, like, we've kind of always been around each other a lot, Mom works for family. She was figuring that out the other day, how long she's worked for my Uncle Mike for the estate. I don't know. It's been many moons, many more moons than you would think. It's like, oh, really? It's been that long? Because I think she came back and started working for my Uncle Mike before I even got out of high school, I think. Because she tried having her own flea market down at the Lake of the Ozarks for about a year, and then she came home, and then that's when she started working for my Aunt Mala, and two different, these people are not, they're related but not married to each other. My Uncle Mike and my Aunt Mala, different sides of the family, I guess. No, maybe not. But so it's like, she's always worked for family, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that was when I was in high school. So that would have been in the mid to late 90s when she started working for my Uncle Mike. So it's hard to believe it's been that fucking long, but I guess it has. The time just goes, I don't know where it goes. Like, one day just kind of blends into the next. They're all pretty much the fucking same. You wake up, you go to work, you eat shit and piss and go to sleep and do it all over again, you know? Unless you're going on vacation, which I'm doing next week, so that'll be nice. But yeah, I mean, we've always, like my cousin Barb, she still lives down there in Hardin. So it's like sometimes Mom will have like a little, or my cousin Barb comes over for like my Uncle Mike's parties and stuff, usually. But it's like Christmas, we all get together at Mom's house usually, and whatnot. It's kind of tradition to do it at Mom's house. Get together. So, I guess maybe not everybody, because that's Mom's side of the family. Because it's like, I was going to say, hopefully everybody, would answer this question that family is important to them. But I can understand how things happen, and like RuPaul talks all the time about chosen family, depending on how things go with your real family, and if they disown you and whatnot for not agreeing with your lifestyle choices, or whatever, or just being you, I guess, in a way. But they're on the other side of the coin. There's other people who cut family members off because they didn't like who they voted for, so it's like we're all a little guilty of that, no matter which side you're on, But that's what I mean, I have my mom's side of the family that I'm very close to, because it's like I grew up with them, like, my mom's mother and father, my grandparents. Technically, that's kind of like with them wanting to do this genealogy thing on me. Like, I've already told them I don't really know anything about my dad's side of the family. I don't know anything about health issues, health concerns, if, any of that kind of stuff. They've taken plenty of blood. Yeah, they could have figured out by now if it was a genetic thing. Like, I don't know why he's wanting me to go to a hematologist, I think, to do some kind of coagulant something. I don't know. I wrote it down on my paper over there or whatever. It's hypercoagulability something he's wanting me to check for. I'm like, you have my blood. Check for it. I guess maybe he's not that kind of doctor. I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent, branching off. Because it's like, I'm very close to my mom's side of the family, but not very close to my dad's side of the family. Because, growing up, it was, I was kind of like, the holiday kid, I just didn't see that side of the family very much. And then I didn't see them at all. And then, nobody acted like it really mattered, I guess. So it's like, okay, whatever, I did have one of my aunts on that side of the family add me on Facebook once. And I have had a cousin or something from that side of the family, like, message me on Facebook and ask, if I was Rick's kid. And I was like, yeah. And it's like, oh, he used to talk about you all the time. I'm like, good for him, I guess. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of stories to tell. I remember going fishing with him and his girlfriend once, and of course, I was being a whiny little kid, and I guess I was kind of annoying her because she kind of snapped at me, and she's like, because I was bored because I wasn't catching any fish, and I think I was whining about it, and she's like, if you don't be quiet, you're not going to catch any fish. And I was like, even as a kid, I was like, who the fuck are you to be talking to me like this? Like, my dad didn't stop her or say anything, so it's like, okay, whatever. He was probably thinking the same thing, but, he didn't want to say it, whatever. But, so I don't know what stories he would tell about me, because it's like, I guess growing up, I was there for, like, Christmas. I remember being there for, like, an Easter, because I remember searching for eggs outside, and I think finding a basket or something. out in the yard or something. But oh my goodness. So it's like, I mean, and then I mean, I tried to get in contact with him one last time when I was 15, and that didn't work out. So I was like, all right, guess that's it. So, I mean, I haven't seen my dad for over like half my life, because that was when I was 15, and I'm 44 now, so it was a long time ago. So I don't really know anything. I have one cousin, Teresa, from that side of the family. She came to, because I started going to the Blakeman reunion, I believe, is the family reunion that I would go to. It was kind of the smaller one. One of my cousins, like, organized it and whatever, but it was kind of a smaller gathering. The Rogers reunion is the bigger one from that side of the family that pretty much everybody goes to, whatever. So she kind of put together the smaller, the Blakeman, whatever, and that's somehow, I still don't actually know how. It's all I know is I'm related to these people somehow. They're family, so like that's. I guess that's all that kind of matters to me, So she would come to these Blakeman reunions or whatever, and she was from my dad's side of the family, so she's like my one person. There used to be Lottie, I think was her name. I don't remember her. I don't really, but Mom always talks about. I'm pretty sure it's Lottie. Was one of the good ones from that side of the family, that actually like tried to stay in contact or whatever. But like I said, I don't really remember her at all, for sure. I guess my grandparents from my dad's side of the family actually came to my graduation. Somebody told me they saw them there. They were sitting in the crowd. They weren't invited. I mean, at that point, I was kind of just like done with that side of the family. Like, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. You don't call, you don't write. You will come down and go fishing right by the house that I live in, but you won't come over to say hello. That's cool. That's all right. Neat. Like, I was just kind of done. So I guess I understand when I say hopefully everybody would answer this question. Yes, family means a lot to me. I guess family's still important. I guess whether it's chosen family or, hopefully you're close with your actual family as much as possible. But so, I mean, I guess everybody could still say, yes, family is important, whether it's, like I said, who you grew up with, who you came from, or who you met along the way. I suppose. What fucking time is it, by the way? 2:32. So my laundry should be ready to switch over here fairly soon. And I think that's about as good of an answer to the question as you're going to get. So I'm going to get this maybe started uploading for y'alls. And by then it should be time for me to go switch over my laundry. And then I can come back and eat my calzone. So, other than that, yeah. But, excuse me, question of the day tomorrow. And then Vacay Day 2024 starts Saturday. So, and I will also, like I said, do my best to continue the question of the day at the same time, even if I have to film myself in Mom's car, to have a quiet place where I'm not bothering anybody. I don't know if Mom booked 2 rooms. I think so. I think she booked us a room, and she booked her a room and Sean a room, and she's like, well, you can decide who you're going to stay with. And because she's family, there again, and she's important to me, I'm gonna, like, mom's used to me staying with her, and I don't want her to be lonely, so I will stay in the room with mom unless she wants to kick me out because she's like, I'm done with your snoring. I don't want to hear it. Go stay with Sean. that, and then Sean would be like, I don't want to hear it. Go sleep in the lobby. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, so it's like maybe mom and Sean can go hang out in mom's room, or mom can go hang out in Sean's room, and I can answer my question real quick while I'm not gonna bother anybody, you know. But we'll see. That's a 2 days from now me problem to figure out. But anyway, that's what's going on, and I'll see you for when I see you.